Hi, I'm Eric, and today we're here at Governor Thomas Johnson High School. We're going to meet an individual who's well respected, humble, and takes great pride in what they do for students each and every day. Let's go and meet him. We are here today at the beautiful Governor Thomas Johnson High School in the stadium with the coordinator of athletics and facilities, Mike Chavez. Mike, thank you so much for your time. I know you're a busy person. We really appreciate you spending some time speaking with us today.
Of course.
Yeah, how you doing?
I'm doing great.
Good.
Thanks for having me out.
Yeah, of course. So you've been with Frederick County Public Schools in some capacity as an employee since 1990, correct?
That's correct.
Awesome.
Yeah,
But before that, you were actually a student here in Frederick County Public Schools.
that's correct. Graduated from Lincoln High School in 1982.
That's awesome.
It's a long time ago. What?
We
82.
don't have to talk about the length of time.
I understand.
It's awesome because you're here
I
now.
appreciate it. That's true. I
Yeah.
appreciate that.
So let me ask you this question. In 1982, when you graduated from Lincoln High School, did you know you wanted to go into public education?
Absolutely not. I had no, that wasn't an idea. My parents weren't teachers. My in-laws were both teachers. But no, I wasn't teaching, and education wasn't really that. I was thinking about going into business administration, maybe getting a CPA or something like that. But, times changed. There was things changed. Times changed in my past that maybe go me in a different direction.
I'm glad it did
Yeah,
and what you
Of
hear.
course, yeah,
So you went off and got your undergraduate in business and administration?
that's correct.
Okay. And
Yeah.
then what did you do after finishing your 4-year degree?
So after graduating from Western Maryland College, not McDaniel, to make sure we're clear on that, it was Western Maryland College. I worked in Mount Airy. I actually managed a health and fitness club in Mount Airy for a couple of years. And then that kind of changed ownerships. Then I went into sales. I was doing business sales of high volume copiers and fax machines and things like that. But, it was a good experience. It was just a taxing experience because, sales is so cutthroat and was just, it's good money, but it was no satisfaction for me. It was just back and forth down the road. But at the same time, I was actually coaching in the county at Lincoln High School. So I was finding more enjoyment coaching than I was doing that piece. So I wanted to try and figure out how I could involve that more because I was enjoying that. And so I figured the only way to do that would go back to school, do a credit count certification so I get my teaching certification so that I could be in education, that made more sense. I would be in the school, create those relationships with our student athletes and our students that be able to have a bigger impact in the school.
So talk to us a little bit about what does the coordinator of athletics and facilities do at a school, and what do they do at the other schools that they serve in Frederick County?
Yeah. And right now we have 6 coordinators, and they're all wonderful people, and we're all working very hard. So I mean, it's just one of those things. And our 4 other that are currently athletic directors, all 10 of us work very hard. We put a lot of hours in, and I appreciate everything they do. It's just an opportunity for us just to serve. But a coordinator, a little bit of the difference of coordinator, it's a 12-month position. It's basically considered an administrator. We're in charge of the athletics and the facility. So in addition to doing everything that's involved with athletics, I'll work with the use of facility, I work with work orders, I work with the maintenance crew, I work with operations. Anything that has to do with the running of the building is usually under my responsibility. And it's an opportunity for us to do those things to free up our administrators so they can work on 100% instructional piece. Because as an assistant principal back in the day, when I had to do the instructional piece and all the management piece, it was difficult to be able to balance all those things. And something always got dropped through, the crack on that. But now with us the coordinators being able to take that management piece off of those administrators, they still have management things to do, but it's a little bit different. But they have more time directed toward instruction. So it makes it better for them.
Yeah, I think people who don't work in the high school, never worked in the high school, you can see from the outside, but what they don't realize is that leading at a high school is like running a small town.
Oh, yeah.
There's a lot of different features and aspects of it. So basically you're serving as a part of that leadership team to support with the maintenance of the building, the facilities, the athletics coordination. There's a lot that's involved there.
Yeah.
So can you talk to us a little bit about what is a typical day? And I know no day is really typical. Anything can be thrown at you and
Sure.
you're going off in a different direction.
Right.
But if it were a typical day, what would that look like for you?
I'm an early bird, so I start early. So I get in as soon as possible because I try to get as much work done before the masses of the bodies come in, and you kind of You know, as an assistant principal, I would always have a checklist of things I wanted to do. And I usually get to one, and then two through whatever would never get taken care of because you're basically trying to put fires out. And it's kind of the same for me. So depending on the day, now we're at the cusp of payroll. So this morning I was going through and approving all of our leave slips for our operations staff. I was going through and making sure the payroll sheets for our worker staff for games are ready to go. I was clearing out my work orders, making sure I didn't have any ETFs I needed to approve, checking email, coordinating with officials, checking to make sure we had officials for the rest of the week, making sure we had security for the rest of the week. So it's really just the management piece of making sure you're prepared for what's coming up in the week. You know, I met with a couple of my assistant athletic directors and said, hey, today we've got multiple games today after school. This is the game plan for that. So it's just trying to, I find if the more organized you are and the more you plan ahead, then the more successful you, because you can never tell when the bump in the road is going to come. So we had an issue the other night where the power source out here didn't go, so we had to go to plan B. So you just have to really be able to adapt and think on your feet and not get don't let anybody, they always used to say, don't let them see you sweat. Right. So sweat as much as you want, just don't let anybody see that you're panicked or anything else but it's a busy job, for sure.
Yeah, you have to be flexible, agile.
Yep.
You talked about the management piece of this, but you're a strong leader as well. So can you talk a little bit about the team? And you mentioned the assistant athletic directors.
Right.
Talk about the individuals, the support, because what you just shared, there's a lot for one person, but as all leaders in the organization, we're not doing it alone. So how do you delegate? How do you build up those on your team to be able to support the work that you have to do?
Yeah, and I always thought as a leader, and I continue to say this, as a leader, if I would step away tomorrow and everything fell apart, then I was a terrible leader because I just kept everything. I kept the experiences, I kept the knowledge to myself. So my plan is to make sure that as I transition into my career and out, that I have the folks that are my assistant athletic directors, our coaches, they're all able to continue to do things without me being here. That means I've done a great job of letting them understand. So I try as much as I can to have our athletic director, anytime I have something that comes up, I include them in that. Say, hey, I got an email from this parent or from this coach and this issue with an official. This is how I handle it. I'll try to get them in meetings as much as possible. I have a great athletic secretary that helps us, and she does a lot with the transportation piece, which is takes a big worry off my shoulders as far as doing those things. So it's always about team. You have a facilities team, you have your workers team, and you don't run these games by yourself. So it's always part of a team. So a lot of times, and I've learned this from a long time ago, that whenever I send out emails or I send information, I always say we. I try to stay away from I, because if I type in I, I'll just go back and I'll change it to we, because I'm not doing this by myself. I have a great support team, and they just do a great job in supporting me. So, but I also don't want them to be yes sir all the time. I want them to give me their opinions. I mean, I'm an old guy. They're younger. They're great with technology, but they also have great ideas. So I want them to share their ideas with me, and if we have an issue where I'm not 100% sure, and I'll say, well, just explain to me how that's going to make it better, because I just want to make things better. So, and that's part of just being a leader, is being able to listen to the folks that that work for you and work with you, and making things more efficient and better.
I appreciate that.
Yeah.
The relationships, impact, and engagement Mike has with the TJ community is inspiring. In talking with Mike, it is clear his decisions throughout his professional career have been guided by the impact he makes on students. He works to be a leader, set an example, and to be a role model, all while earning students' respect. Whether it is coaching, teaching, or in the current role in which Mike serves, he wants to continue making a difference and creating positive relationships. In FCPS, there are 6 coordinators of athletics and facilities and 4 athletic directors. Mike shared how all 10 of them and their teams care about the work they do, providing student athletes and their communities a great time when coming to a game. What Mike does on a daily basis is essential to Frederick County Public Schools.
So one more question for you.
Sure.
What do you enjoy most about what you do every day here in FCPS?
I think it's just the interaction with people, whether it be the adults or the student athletes. The summertime it's a little boring because we're here and there's things to do, we do things, but there's no interaction. And I kind of live off that positive energy. I have 4 daughters and 3 grandchildren and a beautiful wife, and that's a lot of energy, right? So I get that when I'm at home. But it's just making that difference. The best thing for me, I can tell you, is being in this for such a long period of time. There are so many students, former students, that are now parents. Some of them are actually grandparents. So when they come back and they want to talk to me and say something, they give me an update on their lives. I mean, that means you made a difference in somebody's life. It wasn't about this or that. It was about just they know that you cared about them, and they let you know that. And that's the biggest paycheck I can ever get, is knowing that I'll be able to contribute to someone being successful or having a great experience.
That's awesome, Mike.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, man,
Of course.
for everything that you
Yeah,
do.
man.
Appreciate
Sure.
you.
Yeah, of course. Absolutely.
It was a pleasure being able to speak with Mike and learn a little bit more about his journey in public education and the role that he serves in today. It's always fascinating to hear about those who didn't start off pursuing public education as a career, but find themselves there. And we're so fortunate that they do. The role that Mike and our other coordinators of athletics and facilities and athletics directors play in Frederick County Public Schools is essential. They make sure that the athletic competitions and the events held in their buildings run smoothly, and that our students, their families, staff, and the community have everything they need to make those events enjoyable. We appreciate each and everything that they do. Well, everyone, until next time, please continue to take care of yourself, take care of each other, and be well.